What's up, you guys? Welcome back to Skeff's Comic Knowledge. I am Skeff, and I'm looking like a hot mess today. No sleeves, beard's unkempt, hair is a mess. I am tired, but the show must go on. Let's do this video, shall we? Like you saw in the thumbnail, who did I pick? I have 60 books that are going to be sent out for grading this week. I'm so excited. Let's get this grading train rolling, right? So I have decided that I'm going to take my talents to both. I could choose both. I could choose both. I'm doing both. I'm going to have my cake and eat it too. Don't shame me. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to send books to CBCS and I'm going to send books to CGC. Because why pick one? I'm going to use both. They both have great benefits. They both have things that I like and I don't like, and I will use both. That's how it's going to go. I have 60 total books that are going to be sent. 9 to CBCS, and then 51, right, to CGC. So without further ado, let's go ahead and just get right into the CBCS ones, because that one's much shorter. So I have 9 books, and one of the 9 is going to be actually a signature for their verification services for signatures. If you want to check out here how we submit a book to CBCS, it's going to be, go to their main page, you create a membership, you go down to submit comics. Go ahead and submit comics for US office, because I'm in the US. And then I already kind of have it in there built up for you, but we'll go ahead and edit that. So what I did was I have the Spawn title, issue number 300, year 2019, publisher, Image, New York Comic Con silver exclusive, no pedigree, 1 quantity, insured value for 200, and then grade screening is applicable, but not for the 2-day modern. You can do regular modern, but the screening service isn't available for the 2 days. So that's something to remember going forward. If you're thinking about doing the screening service, which is nice, but you can't submit a 2-day. It's going to just take longer. And then here we have like image of the book, fast pass or slideshow, things like that I don't really care about. And then we have the 2-day modern for $36. And then down here you have the Todd McFarlane, encapsulate if verification fails, which it won't because I had signed in person, and that's the signature I want to get verified on there, and that's $25 for the verification service, and then an additional $15 per sig on the book. So we're gonna have a grand total of $61 for this absolutely stunning book. I'm looking forward to getting in a grading case. So this is just a beautiful Spawn 300. This was an absolute nightmare to get. Horror stories behind trying to get this book in New York Comic Con. But I'm looking forward to getting kind of graded up and just kind of seeing how it looks. So that's one of the 9 books I'll be sending in for the 2-day service. The other books that I'll be sending in are just books I'm curious on how it's going to do on the market if it comes back like a CBCS case versus ones that have sold in the CGC. Just because I'm trying to figure out how the market reacts to CBCS 9/8 of moderns versus CGC 9/8 moderns. And I feel like these are just modern books that are kind of hot that I want to see what the market does. So we have a beautiful copy of Spawn 309, the first printing, Gunslinger on the cover, great cover. I feel like very Mandalorian-esque on that cover. Next up, we have a set, cover A, cover B, of the hottest series right now, Nice House on the Lake. Looking forward to getting these back. Curious how it's going to go. Crazy series. We have Basilisk, great read, but the book is blowing up because of the House of Slaughter preview in the book. And one of my favorite issue number 16 variants of the 400 they made is the Megan Hutchinson Kate's 16 variant. Love this one. I love like the creases down, like it just like folded up piece of paper, like an old poster. Love it. Looking forward to getting this one graded. And then more something series is a copy of number 8. And then we have a copy of Erica on issue number 13. And then last to round it out for the 2-day moderns is going to be just a Nightwing 78, the first Melinda Zuko. So these are all just books that I'm going to be sending to CBCS. A couple of them are going to be keepers. A couple of them are going to be for sale. And I'm curious on the ones that are for sale on kind of what they go for in the current market and how everyone views the CBCS 9/8 versus the CGC 9/8. My belief is that, like, if it's a modern book and it's a 9/8, it's a modern 9/8. Like, there really isn't anything to, like, complain about or anything like that. Now, sure, maybe 9/4, 9/6. Yeah, maybe, right? But a 9/8 is a 9/8, right? So, and that's my plan. So that's going to be 2-day modern. I'm shipping them off this week, and hopefully they'll come back in about 2 weeks. Except for the signature one, that's going to take a little bit longer. Now for the CGC books. Skeff, why are you submitting 51? Well, one, I can't count, so that doesn't help. But two, I've been hearing stirrings on the interwebs from other YouTubers that when you submit an entire submission and one item of the submission, because you do it all on the same invoice, so all on the same paperwork, if you submit 50 books, but I'm going to add in one express book, does it come back faster? Because when you submit the express book, anytime you do, they tell you to write express on the box. Therefore, they know which ones to open first. Once they open it and they invoice the express, they have to then check in the other ones because they're all in the same order. So they've opened it, they got to fulfill and put it into their place. So that's what I'm going to try to do for this order and see how long it takes. As of making my last video about the turnaround times, they dropped down a little bit. So I thought it was credit. So I take full credit for dropping down the CGC turnaround times. I take the credit. Just kidding. I take no credit. So for the 51 books of CGC that I'm going to do pre-screened, and I'm probably going to fast track them, the express book I'll be adding is going to be this beautiful copy. Like, if it doesn't come back in 9.8, I would be surprised. But, you know, crazy things that happen. Is this Walking Dead #1, the red foil, like, skybound, like, exclusive Comic-Con box. So this is just a exclusive #1 deluxe red foil cover that I think, like, 9.8s are going for, like, $350 or $400, something like that. But one of the things, like, I know it's, like, a really high grade, and I have no problem submitting it for that extra $100 to try to see if I can get these back faster. So that is my one express book in the box, and the rest of the box is interesting, right? So you guys always ask, like, how do I decide what to send in for grading, what to keep in the PC? And I try to do a good mixture of both. I feel that's the most successful way to do it, where it's like, you know, 60% of the books you're submitting for grading, maybe one's to move to get the bigger books, and then 40% are for the PC. So that's kind of how I do the breakdown, right? You want to send at least, you know, maybe like 50-50 of like things you're going to keep, things you're going to get rid of, so you kind of keep the train rolling, right? So if you check it out, I kind of already have it set up where you have your 25, I did Spawn 300 just to mess with it. So I have 25 copies of Spawn 300, October of 2019, declared value 200. These are silver ones. And I have them. I got to make sure, if you don't do it, you're screwed. I used to do it, I forgot twice back in the day. They don't let you change it now. Now you're just SOL. So make sure you hit that button that says pre-screen. So on the top where it says comic rating and it says modern, if it doesn't say pre-screen modern up there, make sure you click that button. So for these, I would pick 9.8. And at the end, at the bottom, where I would see I'd have one express copy. So I do them all together. So in that scenario, I would have my pre-screens, my express, all in the same order, and I go to checkout. Let's go ahead and just get to the books, right? So like I said, guys, I try to do a good mix between like things I'm going to keep, things I'm going to sell. And so for this batch, I got a fun keepers. I leave keepers for a little bit. So we got some really nice Star Wars, nice Old Republic books that I'm just gonna just want to get graded. I know it's gonna take at least 3 months, so gonna just send them off. I'm not worried about them depreciating value. They're just gonna be sent off to get graded, to be preserved, and we'll see what happens in a couple of years. So we just have a copy of Knights of the Republic #50. I really took my time to go through all these really carefully. Now none of these are pressed, obviously. Working on that in the process right now of getting it pressed, so very excited about that. Knights of the Republic #1. But these are, I really fine-tooth comb. I mean, sure, maybe there's about 5 to 10 of them that are kind of like 50-50 that a press really won't help. Some printer rubs and things like that. So I'm curious on how it's going to go and how it's changed. But I still think, regardless of how bad that last submission went, I still think I got a pretty good eye for at least at least raw modern books. I still think my eye is still pretty good. Got a Knights of the Old Republic #3. And like I said, guys, these Knights of the Old Republic books are just going to be like, I just want to get them graded. I know it's going to take a while. Issue #7. And I'm just kind of looking forward to getting them graded and holding on to them. Issue #8 of Knights of the Republic. So I know grading times are taking a lot longer. We have Dawn of the Jedi, issue #0. Knights of the Old Republic 31. A huge book I'm very excited to get back is the Spider-Man Noir #1. I'm really hoping it'll come back, but that's probably one of the keepers. And then here's where it kind of starts on some books that I'll probably get back and see how the market is. I have a couple copies of War of the Realms, New Agents of Atlas #1. And these books are really hard to get because they had really bad printer rub because it has that Avengers back commercial cover. Another copy of issue #1. And then a copy of issue number 2, New Agents of Atlas, War of the Realms, and then another copy of number 2. And then get back to the books that I'm going to keep and hold on to because I love them. I have this epic cover by Miss Rose Besh of Silk number 2. Like, I love this cover. I look forward to getting that one graded back. And here is a great Adam Hughes Catwoman number 70. Like I said, this will be probably one for sale. You know, good mix of things to keep and to sell. Keeps that thing rolling, right? Keeps that ball moving. This Mark Brooks Spider-Gwen. This one's kind of on the fence. I'm not sure about keeping this or moving it, but I really like this one a lot. And these I'm very excited for. We have that ECGCE 3-book exclusive. So here's the Virgin, which, you know, on the fence about that one. That one may be staying in this PC. But this trade dress one, definitely probably be gone if it comes back in a 9.8. And then the stunning staying in the PC Color Splash, limited to just 500 copies. This one's staying. That one's awesome. I love this one. That one's really cool. So that one will be staying. So like I said, guys, find that mix of things you want to get rid of, to keep, to get your bigger books, like that, for example. I'm so excited. Just a really nice copy of The Wicked and the Divine, issue number 1. And then a series that I've really been enjoying and also kind of speculated pretty hard on, and it seems to be doing pretty good still. Like, I like it a lot. Is Radiant Black. So I have a couple copies of the 1-in-10 ratio. There's one. A second copy of 1-in-10. And the absolutely stunning 1-in-50 ratio. Oh, and there's the third copy of the 1-in-10. And then I'll have 2 copies of the 1-in-25. This David Finch cover, though, so good. This David Finch one's really good. So like I said, guys, some of those are going to be keep, some are going to be to move. So you can just find that balance. But I hope everyone's doing really good. I'm really excited to finally get a big batch of books out. Can't go wrong with some Department of Truth, number 1 first prints. So I think I got 5 of those. Let me double check. 1. Yeah, so 5 of the number 1 first prints of the Department of Truth. And then that Basilisk book, remember that second printing? I'm actually going to send off 2 to CGC. So I have 1 to CBCS, 2 to CGC, and kind of curious on what the market determines the value of the difference between CGC and CBCS. So I'll have 2 of these be sent off to CGC. And then there's a really cool Batman issue number 666. And I thought these were really interesting. This is Marvel Voices, the Still Freeze variant, but it's like the Children of Adam and like first Goddess Spider appearance in the book. But it's still ungraded books are still going for pretty penny right now. So send this off, see how it turns out. And this book is probably going to stay in the PC if it comes back in 9.8. This is a stunning Miles Morales number 1 variant cover. Love this cover. And like I said, guys, no submission would be complete without a copy of a Canto book. So this is just Canto number 1, the 3rd printing. This is, I think, one of my last ones, so I'm looking forward to seeing how this one comes back. And just one more beautiful copy of Canto number 2. Just a really nice copy of Canto number 2. So we're going to have the number 1, 1-in-25 ratio variant. And we're going to have the number 2, 1-in-50 ratio variant. And then the number 2, 1-in-10 ratio variant. So very excited for those to come off. Like I said, I'll probably keep the number 1, I'll probably keep one of the number 2s and then the number 1, and one of the number 2s will probably be gone. But like I said, find that balance. This one I'm very interested. This one I have no idea what I'm going to do with if it comes back in 9.8 yet. This is just a really hard to find lock and key dynamic forces, limited to I think 1,000 copies. So sending that one off, that's in really nice shape. And another beautiful, very similar a la that Silk Rose Besh, this stunning Silk 1-in-100 ratio. Looking forward to getting this one back in a 9.8 hopefully. And then just throwing it around, I'm really curious on how this one's going to turn out. This is a copy of Wind number 1, but the 3rd printing. I know raws are going for like 30 to 45, so I'm curious on what the print run and how the market would determine the value of that one if it came back in 9.8. And like I said, more Radiant Black. These are the stunning foils from the comic sketch art. This one's limited to 375 copies. And remember, guys, make sure you take out your COAs when submitting. They probably won't give them back to you, so make sure you take them out, save them until your book comes back, and then kind of put it back in the bag when you get it back graded. Then the David Finch one, though, this one's so cool. This is actually limited to 275 copies, which is weird, right? The 1-in-25 foil ratio has less than the 1-in-50, but this cover's so good. And then another really good indie series that I'll have 5 copies of, all first prints, all cover A's. If you haven't read this by the Miranda Brothers, go check it out. It was on a 5-issue series. There's going to be more, but this series was really, really good. But We Live #1, the first print by Aftershock. But that's it, guys. Those are all 51 books that'll be sending off to CGC this week, with the one book added to Express to see actually how quick it gets received and inventoried, and see how quick it gets in for that like 85 turnaround time. So I'm interested to see how it's going to turn out, and I look forward to seeing how the process works, and hopefully you guys come along with me for this journey. Like I said, guys, comment down below if you want me to do that House of Slaughter review. I'm really, really interested in seeing how people are going to react to all the ratio variants and like the secret variants and the series just in general. So I'd love to kind of do a video about it. So let me know down in the comment below if that's something you'd love to see. Otherwise, guys, thank you so much for checking out the video, man. It means a lot to me. I appreciate you taking time here today. I know it's a bit of a wordy video, but I really, really do appreciate it. I hope you guys have a great day. Thanks so much for checking out. But that's it for this one, guys. Skeff out.